I can count on probably both hands how many times I've had to do a topic on the discussion that we are having today. And it gets tiresome after a while. So in this picture, you see a black boy by the name of Jacob Rush, and he attends this academy called Abeka Academy down in Pensacola, Florida, where he pretty much has all the requirements he needs in order to graduate from high school. But there's one requirement that the school wants from him in order for him to officially graduate or walk across the stage. And that piece that they want from him, or want off of him, I should say, is what you see growing out of his head, which is his locks. Because apparently, according to the school, it's against their little policy or whatever. And I'm going to pull up their policy in a second. And I'm going to want you to notice something very interesting about their policy. I cannot count how many times I've talked about this on my channel, from whether it's school, whether it's a job, or anything like that. I think the last big lock story we did was about that wrestler who had to cut his locks in order to continue wrestling because apparently in their eyes the locks gave him superpowers. And that definitely was far from the case, because the black boy whose locks had to get cut, he still ended up pinning down the white boy that he was wrestling against. So there goes their little theory. And I was in a Twitter space and that topic came up, and I had mentioned this story as well as the story about the wrestler. They've always had a problem when it comes to our hair. We can't help it if this is how our hair grows, or we can grow it to, form it into the style in which you see this boy in the picture have. Like, they actually denied him graduate to walk during his graduation because of his locks, because they claim it's, against their dress code policy. And we all know their dress code policy is very whitewashed. Very whitewashed, as we already know. But I'm going to go ahead and read this article that's coming from Newsweek and see what else or what other information we can find out. A Florida high school came under fire last week for prohibiting a black honor student from walking across the stage at his high school graduation without cutting his dreadlocks. Now, what's crazy is a lot of these students that they keep denying the ability to walk have some outstanding grades. As a matter of fact, it was one story I think that came out of Texas where this boy was going to be valedictorian, and they still was going to deny him the ability to walk across the stage because of his locks. As a matter of fact, I remember it now because it made national news, and he actually ended up going on Ellen. I remember he ended up on Ellen, and she had gave him some like scholarship money or something like that. So it actually worked out. And not only that, he became like a little celebrity because he ended up getting invited to go like to different red carpet events and whatnot. I think he was even an inspiration for a film. So it actually like really paid out for him in the school. They had to eat their words, or eat their policy, I should say. Abeka Academy, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, in Pensacola, issued an apology on Tuesday after the student's mother launched a Change.org petition in protest, gaining over 53,000 signatures. Of course, they're going to apologize now because they look like assholes. Abeka Academy apologizes for the insensitive rule of no dreadlocks in the dress and hair guidelines for our optional homeschool graduation, the school said in a statement posted to Instagram and Facebook. This does not reflect our desire to respect and serve the broad diversity among ABA students. Therefore, we have removed this reference from our requirements. And they're only doing this because of the pushback. If there was no pushback, or this kid and his mother didn't get any support, they wouldn't have said no apology, and they wouldn't have changed their policy. In screenshots shared with Black with No Chaser, Latrenda Rush revealed how the school had denied her straight-A son, Jacob Rush, the opportunity to participate in his graduation ceremony without removing his locks. I noticed that Jacob's hair does not meet the requirements for marching at graduation, said an email from Administrator Karen Northrup last week, according to a screenshot. As a reminder for the graduates participating in the ceremony, we asked the gentleman to have hair tapered and may not come over the ears, eyebrows, or collars, no braids, dreadlocks, buns, or ponytails. After Jacob's mother pushed back on their requirement, she allegedly received another email from Faith Anderson, assistant principal for academics at the school. After further review, Abeka Academy must stay consistent with the hair guidelines. A screenshot of Anderson's message said she added that if the family chose not to comply, Jacob would receive his diploma cover by mail once all academic work has been received and evaluated. Outraged, Latrinda took to change.org. "This is our culture. This is who we are," she wrote in her petition. "It was inhumane and sickening to see her son's diligence and academic rigor rewarded with rejection based on a hairstyle that was central to his heritage," she said. In January, Dove released a research study on hair discrimination against black girls at school in 2021. According to the study, 53% of black mothers whose daughters had undergone hair discrimination said they experienced the prejudice as early as 5 years old. About 86% of teen black girls said they experienced hair discrimination by age 12. A bill called Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair Act of 2021, or the Crown Act of 2021, which would prohibit discrimination based on a person's hair texture or hairstyle if that style of texture is commonly associated with a particular race or national origin. And of course, since the recording of this video, that Crown Act has been passed. It says Newsweek reached out to Jacob Rush and Abeka Academy for comment. All right, so that's the entire article right there. What I'm about to do is I'm going to pull up their dress policy, and I want y'all to see something that really stuck out to me more so than what they put in the policy itself. So this is the picture of the policy right here, and this is from Latrinda Rush, who is Jacob Rush's mother. As you can see, is right there. I am Latrinda. Now look at this. This is the dress code policy for graduation. Notice anything very striking about this? Don't pay attention to the words. Look at the picture. They made sure to, in their picture and for their policy for graduation, to post 4 images. And by the way, all of them are the same people. This is the same person. This is the same person. But they all are PC. They're all PC images. So much for diversity, right? That pretty much let me know right there what their policy is and what they mean. It's very, like I said, it's very whitewashed. I bet you now that everything has, they've shaken everything up. The next time they put out a policy and use examples, one, they're either not going to use examples, or two, they're going to throw some melanin in there as well to say, see, we're so diverse. See, they expose themselves by pulling the stunt of saying, oh, we can't allow, anyone to have this certain kind of style and this kind of style, at graduation, and then put the policy up. So now people can actually see what demographic, I should say, their policy is really geared towards. Basically saying, if you don't look like this and you look more like Jacob Rush, then we can't allow you to walk. He still can graduate, but you just can't walk with your class. So I thought that besides the words right here, that this imagery that they decided to use was the most telling part. I keep telling you, 2 different Americas. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you are new. Make sure you hit that bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live.